Hello and welcome back, my name's Monkey and welcome back to ARK. So last episode we managed to get the dragon crossed off finally, which was absolutely awesome. And we've now defeated the 3 core bosses of this map, which is all fine and dandy. But unfortunately, we're not going to do the tech cave as I've aired my opinions on that already. It's just 3 core bosses wrapped up into one fight and I'm not really going to do that as I think it's just a bit of a rinse and repeat. So, unfortunately, that leads us on to today's episode, though, which is unfortunately a bit of a sad ending. Due to the matter of fact, we're going to be not doing this map anymore. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing this map so far, but I think it's time to move on to the ARK Survival Ascended and start another map. So, that's pretty much today's core thing. We're going to have a little bit of a trip down memory lane and see where we started and to see where we ended up. So let's go over to the first location where we started and let's have a bit of a nostalgia. So I shall meet you over there. Alrighty then, so we're over here at the south side of the base. I'm wondering whereabouts we are. We are on the left hand side of the map, on the south side. That's north up there. So this is where we sort of started out, as it's a nice little safe location. But let me just square up again. There we go. Right, so this is where we first started off. Nice little humble beginnings base, made out of thatch, as we didn't want anything too fancy, as we're moving pretty much straight away on the first episode. And this is pretty much where we started off. I think it's been slightly expanded because I can't remember it being this big. I think we were probably 3 by 3, I think it was, yeah. And we had that over there. I think all this has been added recently by Nina when she first moved on. And I think this was added by Nina as well, I'm not entirely sure. But this is pretty much an awesome little thing as well she added. It was Welcome to Monkey's Island, which is basically us. And this is our island. So, yeah. Also, it's a little nod and a little bit of a homage to another game that I play as well when I first started with gaming, which was called Monkey's Island. It was a DOS game made in, I think it was 1995, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that's sort of where I began with gaming, which was Monkey's Island, which is kind of like a Pirates of the Caribbean esque thing. That was like a point and click puzzle game. Pretty cool game. If you've not checked it out, fully recommend you checking it out. Now, over here, or on that island there, is where we catched our first dinosaur, which was Dino King. It was the trike that we managed to get. I think it was a nice little decent level. I think it was like level 80 or something like that, which was pretty cool. But unfortunately, I've not got the footage for that because I've been a bit stupid. Well, not stupid. I needed to make space on the hard drive because I was filling up pretty quickly with all the videos that I'm making. So unfortunately, the first half of this, or sort of like the first 3/4 of this Let's Play, is unfortunately gone. But what I'm going to do next time is basically, there's an external hard drive that I have. I just need to sort of streamline it out a little bit, try and remove some of the stuff off it that I'm no longer using or need. And that way I'm going to start saving the Let's Plays for the new... Cheers, Stitch. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to start clearing or use that to basically store the videos for ARK Survival Ascended. That way we've got a bit of a highlights clips that we can play while I'm talking of the different bits and things that we have done. So yeah, unfortunately we have not got that, but it will do it for next time. Promise. I promise. So yeah, that's where we captured Nego King, and we use that basically to walk over to our next base installment, which we'll go and have a look in a second. We're going to go and have a look at Nina's base before she moved in with us, and yeah, we'll then move over. Unfortunately, there's a little bit... Oh, let's get rid of you. We're going to end up nicking my stuff. If you are wondering, if you were... No! If you were here for the first part of this Let's Play, we had a little bit of a... sort of a challenge, or not a challenge, sort of... kind of a task that we did. Basically, how many itchy Yornises that we can kill. There's a right pest around here. If you are wondering, I think we're on about 258, I believe. Could be give or take a few. I need to go and have a look at the sign back at our main base. But yeah, that was how many Ichthyosaurs that were getting on our nerves. But also, if you're wondering as well, because we did have another thing as well, which was days without accidents. Days without accidents is currently on about 10 days. Yes, I get into a few accidents, as you're probably aware of when we shot that Spino. But yeah, right, let's move over to Nina's base that she built after moving away from here. And let's go and have a look. In fact, there is another thing that I do get a bit of a nostalgia effect from, is this tree. Now, if you're wondering why, so basically when Nina moved in here, she built this nice lovely area here. So you sort of chill down or chill out and, you know, mull over today's events and whatnot. Ouch. Unfortunately, I came along and destroyed this by accident because I was using it to make some meat on the fire, which is quite coincidence now as we are making meat. But yeah, I got a bit told off for that. So I had to move in the boundary for the spawns just so this would sort of come back again. So Nina, it has come back, and it took a while, but it is now back. So yeah. Right, let's move over to Nina's base that she had before moving in with us. Okay, so here we are over at Nina's first base that she built on the island, which is a nice looking little base. There was a lot more going on there before she moved over, but a lot of it got deleted because she was concerned about things spawning back in again. And I said, no, just delete it. There's nothing really important around here that will spawn in. It's mainly herbivores and a few raptors, so really. So I said, leave it, don't destroy anymore, and we can have a bit of a nostalgia coming back over this way, just have a look to see where the humble beginnings began for herself. So yeah, as a first little base she built, I say it was not a bad little base, not a bad little base. Let's have a quick look inside. So we've got going on here is a fabricator, we've got pestle and mortars, forge, smithy bench, some storage, and this is something which I did like. It's like I've never been able to, I don't like using these because I always used to, or I tend to mess up using them, but as an actual sort of way up here and a nice little piece to have, it's sort of nicely keeps that sort of compact feel, which is nice. So I did really like that. And then she's got a generator up here as well. When I wanted to do, I think she was going to get some lights and stuff, but by that time she moved over with ourselves. And yeah, this is pretty much how the base sort of ended up. And yeah, not a bad little base, not a bad little base. Right, let's move over to the next part of this nostalgia memory lane, and I shall meet you over there. Okay, so here we are at our second location. This is where a few events unfolded. Some were good, some were bad. So basically what happened is that we had just sort of like this first layer in to start off with, and then we sort of finished this at a later stage. This is just sort of a preliminary design for something that I had over there. But yeah, when we were here, we got into a bit of trouble. We had to defend it from a Alpha Carnosaurus that was over there. And we managed to basically kill it while it was trying to eat something, because Alphas can't destroy carcasses, which is pretty weird, but never mind. And then we managed to catch Pete, that was over here. And then we managed to capture a flyer as well, which was Anput or Anubis, I can't quite remember, but it was one of them. But we also, no, we captured two actually. We captured both of them at the same time. Yes, we captured Anput and Anubis. Yes, little bit of a brain fart there. But yeah, that's kind of how, or that's kind of like some of the events that unfolded while we're here. Like I said, unfortunately, we've not got that on footage, but you'll remember for next time. So moving swiftly on, we also managed to capture Dodicarus that was here as well. And then we also captured a Ankylosaurus as well around here as well. This is where we sort of basically first started out to try and get the main infrastructure up and running, or the dinos that we needed to start building this big mega structure over there. So If you're wondering what the inside looks like, it's pretty basic now. There's nothing left in here. I think, yeah, we just got a smithy and a forge in here. I think that's all I deleted. But this is pretty much how it looked on the inside. Nice and simple, nice little starter shack. So if you guys are looking for a nice little starter house to have, then you can check out episode 2 and episode 3. That's the episodes that we built this in. So let's move over to our main base and let's just sort of go for a walkthrough, have a conversation about what we built and when. So, or like the order of what we built, and sort of like what the plan was behind the whole entire base. So I shall meet you over at the main base. Okay, so here we are at the Giga Base now, and this is where we obviously settled down and created our awesome mega base. Now, this was a plan all the way from the start, but just a little bit of sort of what my thought process was when I was building this. I wanted it to be all on stilts and sort of high-rised, because with like sort of the small to medium dinos, and also I believe like T-Rexes and Spinos, they can't really attack this stuff, even though we wouldn't have had Spinos really attacking in this area. But we did have Pete. They can't destroy stone structures, which is pretty awesome, because when they try and attack it, it just come up with 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 damage numbers as they're trying to attack it, so they won't take any damage. So that was kind of my thought process, to try and make this a little bit more defensible, and also make it a little bit more easier to walk around with, all sort of like not getting attacked. So if there was something in the area, we could just walk along here into a nice little area. Say for example there was something attacking there on that pillar, we could just bang bang bang, kill it, done. So kind of using it as a defense to basically make sure that nothing attacks us. But as we expanded, that sort of danger kind of went. Now we did have Carnos spawning in the back, and we did have raptors sort of coming down through here and also over there. Let's get on the actual right side of it. Over there, where you can see the spiked walls. So that's the reason why we put the spiked walls there as well, just in case if the AI sort of made them walk into there. Then I was going to spike all this up here, because the plan was to expand up onto here. But ARK Survival Ascended came out, and yeah, I want to kind of move over to that and basically do some better builds with that, because I was going to install S Plus on here, but when I was made aware of S Plus, this was already established, and I would have had to basically turn off the settings that I had to be able to open the file to be able to adjust that and add that mod in to Nitrado. So it would have reset everything, and I would have had to basically go through with a fine-tooth comb and redo all the settings again. So I wasn't game for that, so this is why everything's sort of built in vanilla mode and built the way it is. So without digressing too much, this is pretty much in a nutshell how it's sort of going to be left now. This was our narcotics house, where we were crafting all our narcotics and stimulants. And then once we did that, we then built our storage hut, which was over there. Can't see it from here, so we're going to have to move over here. But yeah, this was the second thing that we built, which was our big storage hut, which we can sort of house all of our supplies. Just sort of the main core ones, like fiber and hide, thatch and wood, and as you get it. It's the main core materials for all the basic building stuff, like buildings and stuff like that. And this is basically, again, we built it out of stone, just to keep the aesthetics, and then that way we could use the wood as an accent, and that way we'll look a little bit nicer. And also, we're in the Stone Age, so it also makes sense to have it like that. Then, once we did the storage hut, I believe we built the gunpowder factory? Yes, the gunpowder factory and this greenhouse. So let's have a quick look at the gunpowder factory. So again, built out of stone with a nice thatched roof. And then we basically kitted it out with a ton of forges to be able to create the charcoal. And then we basically had the pestle mortars in here to then convert the flint into spark powder. and then be able to then use that for the gunpowder to combine that with the charcoal, or the spark powder and charcoal to make gunpowder. You get it. Unfortunately, we were going to try to get some crop plots out of here, but I think this would have been better if we had ARK Survival Ascended. There was like the wireless water, and that way this could have got irrigated at the same time. We could have had some nice floral stuff on the outside and also the backside, but yeah, we never got around to it. I thought that the rain might hit this, but yeah, unfortunately it didn't come through. So, because the slight bit where it's, yeah, so it's around there where I thought the water would hit it, but it didn't, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the gunpowder factory that we had, or that we made. Can't remember what episode it was. I think it was like episode 7. Not entirely sure. And then we also built this nice lovely greenhouse to be able to store our basically fruits and veg. So we had the citronal, rock carrot, lava root, and I think we just did the thing there as well. Then on the back side we had the Fiamina, or Fiomia, just on the back here to then create our fertilizer, but that's all been sort of shut down now as we're coming to an end. But these things can poop for absolute ever. You just feed them stimulants and then obviously keep the food topped up with normal berries, and you can basically have unlimited amount of poop to create all your fertilizer needs. Wonderful. I think we actually came out with a few. I think we used it all. Oh no, we got a bit there. Cool. Right. Then the next bit that we then built was the forgery. Let's have a look at this. And again, made out of stone, just to tie in with the rest of the builds. And then we also painted it as well, just to give it a bit more colour and a bit more pizzazz. But pretty much basic. So like a square shape here, with a bit of an overhang, and then with this bit of extension here. Then we've got a few barrels on the outside. This is where we started to try and decorate the actual builds, to try and add a bit more life and a bit more feels into the build. That's why there's kind of like a few more decorations around here, because we sort of switched up a little bit to just try and push ourselves a little bit further and out of our comfort zone. So let's have a quick little look round. We've got a nice lovely forge in the middle, all nicely painted up in our colours. And we've got a fabricator just here, so once you've gone in here, you can basically just lob it out. It comes here, and you can basically transfer it to the fabricator nice and easily. So that's why we put these sort of two together. And then the same with the smithy benches as well. You can sort of look up and then you can lob the metal over there. That way you can transfer stuff quickly. Then on the top side, we had the fuel making process. So we had oil, and then we also had one in there, hide, and then that's what all these forges were for up here, to make the fuel, just so we had enough to supply our base in the future. Like I said, all of this has become sort of obsolete now as we're sort of closing the book on this and moving over to ARK Survival Ascended. Just so we got that better building technique so we can try and make some better stuff. Right, then after that, our lovely forgery, we then moved over to here. We built a huge platform. And then this is where we built our bird coop slash sort of egg production area. It was originally just a coop for Argentavises, but it was kind of massive, so we decided to sort of make it more utilized for other things. I think I said that correctly, I'm not entirely sure, but yes. We came over here and basically sort of made it a egg laying factory, just for all the eggs that we were going to need for making the kibbles. But like I said, everything sort of started to come close to an end as I wanted to move over to ARK Survival Ascended, because I've been itching to play that rather than sort of carrying on with these building mechanics. I'd much rather try and build something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Like even here, I would have preferred to have like columns going up, pillars going up, sort of like to try and give it a bit of an edge. just try and add a bit more detail in. So yeah, that's kind of the main reason why I want to move over to ARK Survival Ascended. But either way, without digressing on that too much, this is where we built this huge massive mega structure to house all of our birds and anything that was feathery. We're going to go up here, and then this was sort of our access to our Quetzals. Oh, also, thank you, and subscribe. That's what we should have had. Another dodo saying subscribe. But yeah, this is our access to our Quetzals, so we could then just sort of get on the Quetzal, go out these big holes here, and then that way we didn't have to open the doors if they were closed or sort of if it was on the back. Thought I was missing something then. Yes, there is something missing. I was going to do sloped glass here and then put the doors in, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, this was our access to come out of the actual building. So we had sort of like different sort of chilling areas on each level. And we had sort of access to the outside, just in case if we sort of had anything sort of on the outside, but these would be sort of more of a chill out zone rather than sort of having anything stored dino wise. And then obviously we've got our monkeys here. We've got King Kong, or King Louie. This was our first monkey that we got. And then this was our second one, which we caught when trying to find, I think it was either otters. Yeah, I think we're trying to find otters. Yeah. And then we got this one, which was our second one. We went into a little bit more of a higher level one. But yeah, this is how the bird coops were laid out. And then basically all the females would be in these sections here. And then obviously once they then lay their egg, as you can see with this nice lovely pile of doo-doo here, it would come through that hole and down, and then it would come, the egg would then lay here. So all we had to do was sort of come up to here, bang, collect, bang, collect. Yes, I'm picking this up. And again, collect, collect. I don't think we've got anything on this side that we can sort of see egg-wise now. And then basically then, once we collect all the eggs, we can then store them in here. That's our fruits and veg, all in here. So this is how, or this is what we sort of ended up in the end. These are the different eggs that we had, the Sarco, Argentavises, we've got quite a few of them. But, yeah, sort of came into its own little self. I was going to use it for breeding at one point, but again, I didn't want to sort of do the alpha fights, so I kind of put breeding on the back burner, but we'll definitely do it in the next Let's Play. That's definitely something on the books. And we've got our food storage here, which will then feed everything, and that way it's sort of out of the way, and there's no sort of like that type of stuff out in the open, destroying the view. You enjoy that? And then we just decorated it with the dragon heads that we got just recently out of the fight. And then we put the flags up here as well. Not entirely sure if we had them on this side. Let's go and have a look. Ah yeah, we put the dragon ones out back. Absolutely awesome these dragon ones are. Awesome. So, let's move on to the next build. Nothing which was quite mahoosive as this. This was sort of our biggest build that we did. And then we did sort of more tamer, smaller sort of builds from that. Oh, Nido King's over there. I was just going to show you Nido King. And Nido King is still alive. And Nido Queen as well. I was quite surprised that they survived all this time, but yay. So, after the bird coop, we then came over. Yep. Yeah, so after the bird coop, we came over here and we built this cookhouse. So this cookhouse was predominantly for making all the brews, like the focal chili, the Mayan sweet tonic. Also, I believe we got them in here. Nope, not there. This one. These type of, basically all these type of recipes is basically why we built this cookhouse. And also it was a nice little convenient area where we were doing our Rhino Gnartha tame. We were able to basically make everything here and just basically do the taming process here for the Rhino Gnartha. That's sort of why we built this here. It was just basically to make things a little bit more easier, so we didn't have to sort of go from all the way over there over to here. So we had our kibble production over there. Then we had sort of like proper foods and all the tonics and all recipes in here. It was going to be, or this is what it was mainly going to be. So we had two different sections for doing the two different things, which was nice and awesome. But let's just go and have a quick look in here though. So can't remember what episode this was built in. I think it might have been episode 15, I believe. I think that was. Because we also then recreated this again in ARK Survival Ascended. So this is sort of where the main sort of idea came from. And how we sort of planned out what it was going to look like, or sort of the main core skeleton was going to look like in Survival Ascended when we were doing a how-to build video of this. And as you can see, pretty much the same sort of stuff that was in there. So if you've not checked out that one as well, I would probably recommend going to have a look at that ARK Survival Ascended video, which was how to build a cookhouse. And you can see that by going into the main channel page, and there's a playlist in there. Just click on videos, playlist, and then it should be in there. So basically we had this first area here, which was going to be the eating area. The cookhouse area was down here where everything was going to be cooked. And then up here as well was the meeting area, just in case if there was any sort of fine guests who wanted to come and dine, or be able to hold meetings for like your clans and stuff like that, if you're in a sort of a bigger tribe. So this is the main layout and core principle of this build. And I think, to be honest, this is one of my favorite builds, along with the smithy house as well. Like, when I was doing these, I really wanted to sort of push myself out of my comfort zone and try and create something a little bit more, less squarish, so to speak. And I think we managed to pull it off with these two builds. Obviously, that's more of a square, but this was sort of like something which I really enjoyed building. I really enjoyed building this one. But after that, what do we do? Ah, yes, the Moser Pen. Go to the Moser Pen. Yes, so as you can see, that's where the egg would land. You then pick up that egg, put it into your fridges, and bob your uncle. So we're now here at the Moser Pen. This was the second thing that we built. That wasn't here beforehand. I'll explain that later. Yeah, this is the Moser Pen that we had. And then this is where we, well, we had to build this because after when we captured this, we needed somewhere to store it. But pretty much in a nutshell, it was sort of just a kind of docking area. Sort of just like a U going around. That's sort of how I'm going to explain it. But yeah, you can pretty much see how it's sort of built. I believe that this was about 20 by 15, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Can't quite remember. 3, 5, 3. So yeah, 3, 5, 3. Quick maths, 11. Yeah, it's 11 by 20, I believe. But you can always check out the episode that we did that, and pretty much in a nutshell, you'll see how it was built in there. But yeah, this is what we built next after the cookhouse. And I've got to say, I really love these pens. Everything's contained. Nothing can come in and attack your tame, which is absolutely awesome. But yeah, that was the second thing that we built. And then after that, but it wasn't sort of straight after, we then built the Squid Pen, which is pretty much the same as the Moser Pen. And we got both our squids in here. And again, nothing will attack it, which is absolutely awesome. And we did end up changing these stairs. I think it does look a lot better with this sort of like longer cascading, rather than sort of, because if you remember, here there was another set of stairs going down, and then it was just going straight to here, and it looked a bit wrong. So we did manage to sort that out. Need some meat. Yeah, after that then, we built this nice, lovely walkway. Now, I might be wrong in my thought process here, but I believe this is the longest walkway or longest road that anyone has built in ARK. That's probably because I'm that mental enough to do it. But yeah, I wanted a walkway to come underneath this nice, lovely stone sort of archway here. And then this would lead over to our long-term storage dino area. Come on, load in. Please, load in. Thank you. Please. And yeah, as you can see off camera, I have put all this roofing in and all these pillars and decorated up as well, just to make sure that it's all finished off. Now here, I'm a little bit ticked off because I've had to go to the side a little bit, just to be able to basically avoid these stones so I could basically build across, because there's some stones in the water you can't destroy, and it was stopping me from building this walkway. I had to move it over to the left a little bit so we can build those red rocks there, just so we can build this to here. Now the road was going to continue and it was going to come around here, and this is where our breeding area was going to be. But yeah, I decided that we weren't going to do the alphas and we were going to move over to ARK Survival Ascended. That's one of the other reasons why we didn't build the breeding hut, because it just would have been a waste and we would have never have used it. And I'm glad that we sort of stopped it here rather than going too far. As you can see, everything takes an absolute age to load in. But yes, this was the long-term storage dino area that we built just to house all the stuff that we wasn't using, and just sort of keeping out of the way just so there wasn't that many entities in that area. Just to try and speed up the loading process, even though it's not anything to do with my own PC. My PC can load all this in and no problem, but because of the game, it's the game that struggles to load it all in quickly. So yeah, so we're not getting any sort of like major lags or anything when we're moving around, apart from when we get stuck in dinos. We go back this way. No sort of like drop in frame rates. We're starting to try and load in now. No actual sort of like drop in frame rates. It's literally the game trying to keep up. And because the game can't keep up, it sort of makes things a little bit harder for it to load in. So that's the reason why we sort of built the long-term storage dino area. Let's just quickly get back over there. And let's have a quick little look around. Okay, so we're back over at long-term storage. Let's just have a quick little look around. I know this video has been long and me explaining a lot of stuff or showing you the different builds and why we built it or when we built it. But yeah. Again, long-term storage dinos where now Nido King and Nido Queen resides for the rest of their times, up until the time of this map going. But yeah, I won't be able to keep this map, unfortunately. I was tempted to download the files, but I was gonna try and see if I could probably put it on like media share or something like that, so you could actually sort of download it and have a look for yourself, so you can have a little walk around and have a sort of more of a better perspective. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure how to do it, and I wasn't quite sure if you could actually sort of share worlds with people and for them to be able to sort of, other people to be able to sort of explore it around, sort of like how Minecraft does it, where you can download a world file and then you can view that world. But I think if you were to do that, then it would sort of get rid of your, so say for example, if you were to start an island map, it would take over the position of where the save data for the island would be, and you would be able to have your own island and then this as well. So that's sort of the reason why I think that's how it works in my head. That's sort of the reason why I'm not going to be sort of doing a world download file, even though it would have been nice to do that, just so you guys could explore it yourself and have a look. If it's still something you want to do, leave us a comment in the comment section below. But after a week of this being uploaded, I will be shutting down the server which this is based on. And yes, the map will cease to exist. So, just under here though, quickly, this is where we're storing the small dinos. I would have put the feeding troughs into there, but I sort of decided to keep them up here anyway. And then obviously I finished everything off with its trellising, because this wasn't here last time. And that's pretty much the long-term storage dino that got built after the Moser Pen. And then obviously we've just been over there, but then the Squid Pen got built after that. that's kind of how the base unfolded. I do apologize. It would have been nice to have some footage of little stuff that happened down the road. But unfortunately, like I said, the first half of this series did get deleted. I think I've only got about 12 episodes of ARK. So the whole like last quarter of this has been recorded, and sort of nothing really happened eventfully in the area because we were sort of pretty much kitted up by then. The only thing that was in the area was sort of going to get destroyed anyway. I think pretty much the only thing that sort of killed me was my clumsiness, and yeah. So I think on that, I think it's time to wrap up the episode. Don't think there's anything else that I need to add into this. No. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little nostalgia trip down memory lane. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall catch you in the next series. So take care, and goodbye.